It's the Hipster King from the Hairy Game Lords, and Dave and I this evening have been playing Monuments. What did we think? Hold on and we will tell you all about it. So, in essence, Monuments is basically three classic mechanics. There's some worker placement elements, there is resource management, and there is area control. But alongside that, you've got battling, you've got some cards that you're using that have got various different actions. There's a lot more to this. It's a really good strategic game, which often isn't my strong point, and I'm not going to lie, I got absolutely pummeled in this game by Dave. But as I always say, if you can get completely beaten and still enjoy the experience, it's a good game, and Monuments definitely ticked those boxes. So basically in the game you're playing an ancient civilization, and your job is to construct your monument. Your monument comes as a nice big 3D model. The prototype we had, that model was split into 5 layers, and basically you have to meet certain conditions and then use one of your cards, which allows you to build that particular monument. So different cards have got different actions, and on your turn you can play that card and use that action. You're then placing workers out onto your map, moving your workers around the map, and depending on where those workers end up, you can then use another card which might produce from those areas that you've got the majority in and got a worker in. You can build factories which help produce more. You can build army units, navy units, and air force units, which is kind of what Dave went after, and start attacking your opponents, preventing them from building the majority over the area they need to then be able to put their next level on. What's the importance of building those levels? Well, each time you build your new level, you get closer to the end game, you get additional victory points, but you'll get also vital access to additional bonuses, different things that you can do. One of the things I really enjoyed about the whole card mechanic was you only had a limited set of resources. I think you had 10 cards. Those cards can be upgraded, and you play a card on your turn and do that action. At the start of the game there are only 2 or 3 cards that you can actually use, because you haven't got access to the resources you need for some of the other cards that you'll play later on in the game. So you play your 2, you might choose to play a couple of cards, get those actions, and then on your next turn pick those back up. And that's kind of how the turn cycling works. You go through playing your cards, taking the actions, getting to the point where you think, I've done enough that I need to do something else. I'll bring those cards back up so I can play that one again because I need some more resources, or I need to get another worker, so I need to use the town to populate and get another couple of workers into the into my field to do more work. So that the kind of intertwining and using those actions and picking them back up so I can use them again. Another really neat mechanic, making this a really thinky, really tight and crunchy game. Loved it. I got absolutely pummeled in this game. It was really strategic, and first playthroughs on strategic games aren't always my strongest point, and there was a real high level of strategy in this one. I missed a couple of what I should have been aiming for in terms of end game bonuses that I was given right at the beginning of the game, because there are asymmetric bonuses for each player, and there's randomization in some of that as well, so that each game will be different. I missed my cue on that, and so went after some of the wrong things. I was playing safe, being gentle, and just trying to build my population, spread around the world nicely. Dave decided to go all out war, attack, 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 which ended up with my my poor people being weakened too much that they couldn't then collect what they needed, and when it came to building up my layers I was always a couple of steps behind. Having said that, and feeling probably from about halfway to 2/3 way through the game I knew where it was going, I still absolutely love this game, which is a really good sign of a good game for me. So Monument, really big double thumbs up from the Hipster King. I would love to play this again. I will probably get beaten again, but I will love it just as much.
Hi, Dave the Grey, and yeah, tonight I've been playing Monuments against Pete, and I did feel a little bit bad towards the end because I did give him an absolute caning, but it's the nature of the game, and I went very much for a deliberately attacking strategy, which, to be honest, felt when we were like halfway through the game, I was kind of tied into that because I'd spent so much resource building up my Air Force and my Navy that I didn't really have any choice other than to go attack, attack, attack. I managed to split Pete's nation into sort of several small pieces, so we couldn't actually move between them very well. And I did feel a tiny bit that no, I didn't. I loved every minute of it, if I'm brutally honest. Next time I play, I'll probably go for a deliberately more defensive strategy with towers and what have you to keep Pete out. He'll probably be on the warpath wanting revenge, just to see how it plays like that on a different strategy. So as you're building your nation up, a few things happen. There is quite a tight limit on resources. So certainly towards the start of the game, you're trying to balance hardly any workers, hardly any resource, and you need loads of stuff to build towns, your armies, Air Force, Navy, obviously your monument as well takes resources, and when you build your monument, you need to sacrifice a worker, or maybe he's just working there, I'm not sure. That's the nice, more family-friendly version rather than him being crushed under a massive rock. But all of your resources suddenly drop when you put a level on your monument. So there is a really, really tight control over resources that you need. However, as you go along, you can also upgrade the cards that you're playing to actually make your actions. So you get bonuses, you can gather resources from 3 areas rather than 2. You can move people twice. So every time you're upgrading your cards, everything gets slightly easier for you. But as you're building things bigger and better, towards the end, your monument, you need to have control of 12 areas of land. You need to have a whole ton of metal. You need to have loads of animals to actually put into your monument, which then just disappear, gone forever. So it is really, really tight on the resource management, which is quite challenging to start with, and it does channel you down a particular path, I think. So Pete was very much trying to play nicey, and I was just trying to build as many aeroplanes as I possibly could. But, you know, it worked out. Next time, yeah, I will be going for a more defensive strategy, I think. But the way all the cards interact, it makes it really quite a thinky game. Crunchy, I think, is the word Pete used. But it was thoroughly enjoyable. Loved it to bits. I will give Pete a chance to have another go at me. Hopefully with the same results, but we'll give it a try. Really good game. Back it on Kickstarter. I definitely will be, I think. So 2 thumbs up and subscribe.
And different opportunities. And different opportunities.
Shall I take a picture to send to your wife?
Sure. Oh, he just wants on his camera.
Not so monumental in the back garden. Clearly it's a little bit cold out here.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
You put Pete off his stroke. You should send that to Phil.